groß Geschick, bei jenem Zibas sich allein nicht tief. Sie ist Haar, wenn nicht milchig, nicht fleischig, nur am Eichel, wo sei jeder dort lieb. Also, wo sei jeder Preuß am Dizie, me hat es lieb, me weiß der Gefarwos. Sie sei die Schmeichel mit Traditie, in jedem Reb Schabes ist man dos. Gefilter Fisch! Oi, sie ist am Eichel, wo es hat 1000 Tammen. Hab zuerst versicht es bei meinem Mammen. Oi, es ist teuer, es ist voll am Eichel, fahrt dem Volk ist Reul, und ich geht es sich im Meul. Oi, die gefilter Fisch sind ein Yiddish. Me kind Fischil, me stellt und machen Yiddish. Ich stehe wie schön, rein und frisch, besetzt das in gedeckten Tisch, mit allein gefilter Fisch. Gefilter Fisch, gefilter Fisch. Der Ungarot liebt Gulasch mit Paprika, in der Polak hat liebt Bigos Fleisch mit Bräu. Bei dem Russ ist Reu der Borsch der Riker, und der Jecke hat liebt Klöse Kreu. Am Mammen liegen gleich die Rumäner, und der Grusiner hat lieber Schaschlik. Nor wo's geht, es weiß man sei nicht keiner. Na, der Abiden sagt mir, was es geht. Gefilter Fisch, gefilter Fisch. Oi, es ist am Eichel, wo es 1000 Tammen. Hab zuerst versicht es bei meinem Mammen. Oi, es ist teuer, es ist voll am Eichel, fahrt dem Volk ist Reule. Sie geht es sich im Meul. Oi, die gefilter Fisch sind ein Yiddish. Me kind Fischil, me stellt und machen Yiddish. Ich stehe wie schön, rein frisch, besetzt das in gedeckten Tisch, mit allein gefilter Fisch. Gefilter Fisch, gefilter Fisch. Oi, gefilter Fisch.
This brings back memories, the fish in the tub. I don't know about how many of you, your parents did it, but my mother, every Thursday there was a fish in the tub. Rochale, but die euch?
Oh, ja. Jo. Oder ich habe etwas a gute Meisele wegen gefüllte Fisch.
Ja.
Meine Tate hat verkauft Hühner mit Fisch.
Ja.
In einmal ich habe beschlossen, als ich will verkaufen den Fisch. Ich habe das herausgehabt, herausgenommen, gelegt im Wogen. Oder es ist gekommen, der dramatische Moment, wenn ich habe gedacht, hergenen den Fisch geben, nicht hergenen, aber dafür geben einen Klapp, soll ein bisschen kallischen, ja?
Ja, Klapp auf den Kopf, ja.
Ich habe gegeben einen Klapp oder ich habe gehabt sehr Rachmunes. In zum Sof habe ich herausgegeben ein Geschrei zu meiner Tate, wo es ist gewesen dort und wie gewesen der Zimmer von der Hinne. Ich habe geschrieben, Tate, such den Fisch, will nicht sterben. Und das hat mir noch geläuft, ein paar Monaten. Alle Freunde haben noch geredet von dem, alle Mal sind gekommen zum Gewalt und gefragt, du Rochale, wo sagt sich mit dem Fisch, will sterben, will nicht sterben. Die waren eine ganze Meister.
Ja. Golda. Ja. Golda, die bist verstimmt.
Wir haben gehabt einen Fisch in Pfanne. Und ich bin gewesen eine von 4 Kindern. Eine ganze Woche hat das Fischl geschwommen um die Pfanne. Wir haben gebracht etliche Sachen vom Park. Also soll sich vielen bequem. Wir sind gewesen als so geärgert, als dem Fisch zu hagen. Keiner hat nicht ein bisschen getan von dem Fisch. Und die Mama hat es gekocht. Ich fühle meine Tate und hat geschreit auf uns alle, that it's not a pet. Es ist ein Fisch, man darf es aufessen. Aber keiner hat nicht ein bisschen getan.
Okay, ja, dann Golda. Susan, when you are talking, unmute yourself because all of you were muted, so unmute, yeah.
Ich will etwas sagen und etwas fragen. Die erste Sache, für was esst man gefüllte Fisch, Schabes oder Jontef? Weil auf Schabes und auf Jontef kann man nicht herabschneiden, die Fisch von den Beinen. Das ist eine Avoda, das ist Arbeiten auf Schabbat, was man kennt nicht, und man macht gefüllte Fisch. Man nimmt daraus die Beine und man schneidet das früher. Und der Fahrer isst man gefüllte Fisch auf ein Jantiv. Das habe ich gewusst. Aber sie tun sieben, ich weiß nicht von was man isst. Die Fisch ist die erste Sache in der Mahlzeit. Es ist du auf viele Wörter auf Jiddisch, als man geht zu schnell, man sagt, Pamela, hab nicht die Loction für die Fisch.
Für die Fisch.
Das ist die erste Sache, und ich weiß nicht von was.
Rafael, you have the answer?
Ja, ich kann antworten auf die Frage. Die meiste ist also, in Talmud steht geschrieben, als es sakanadik zu essen zusammen Fisch mit Fleisch. Und hat der Fall bei die Frume, esst man erst die Fisch und man nimmt da weg die Kehlen im Ganzen und danach kann man zustellen Fleisch. Man soll sich Chalila nicht essen zusammen und krank werden.
Rafael, du hast doch geschrieben etwas in den Chat. Willst du uns verzeihen, wenn nicht alle allein in den Chat?
Ja, gut, ja. Bei uns bin ich der Kocher, was geht zu die gefüllte Fisch. Aber bloß einmal im Jahr. Und ich heimwillig kasche in die Kehlen. Morgen koche ich erst die Fisch. Und die Frau kauft bei mir die Fisch. Aber ich nutze Rezept, was es scheint von meinen Boben. Alle Jahre koche ich die gefüllte Fisch.
Aber wer soll, die machst das, die Geakte?
Ja, sie kauft Ganzen, ne? Und ich darf sie schauen, nicht schaben, das hat man schon getan. Und ich lege den Fisch durch, wie sagt man, ein Grinder?
Okay.
Ribbeisen, aber nicht kein Ribbeisen.
So this is for lazy people, because my mother used to do gehackte.
מכונת בשר. היו טוחנים במכונת בשר.
יידיש, הפרקט auf Yiddish.
Okay. I knew that this song, when Maurice sent it to me, I knew that it will generate a lot of
Ich nutze nicht kein Hack heutzutage. Ich habe das gesehen, aber es ist ein Sackbringer zu nutzen, eine Kehle, was soll reiben auf kleine Stückchen. Und danach lege ich zu Eier und Sachpfeffer und Salz und ein bisschen Wasser und ich koche.
Okay. Okay. Bon appetit, Rafael. Okay. Beverly, Steve, and Rochelle. Beverly.
Okay, so the classic book is The Carp in the Bathtub by Barbara Cohen. And it's a story of exactly what Rachel had gesucht. The two children get attached to the fish, and they say, "Would you eat a friend?" So they take it upstairs to the neighbor and they sell it. "Could you hide the fish for me?" Anyway, try to get it. It's a classic. You can only. I tried to buy it the other day. They're only used. Otherwise, they're $25. But it's a wonderful story for your grandchildren. A beautiful story.
Yes, I saved that book. What's the name of the book?
Carp in the Bathtub.
It's on the chat. Carp in the Bathtub by Barbara Cohen. But you can't get a brand new one. It's a classic, but it's a beautiful story.
What in the Bathtub?
Okay, Steve, your turn.
Ich habe gedacht, ein bisschen Meister, von wenn meine Schwester hat genannt, Kinder zu Israel zu besuchen, der Machatunim. Und mein Schwieger's Tate kann nicht reden Englisch. Und er hat gesagt zu mein Plimenek, willst du gesehen a Fischi? Dagi, a Dagi. Gesagt, Fisch in Hebräisch is Dagi.
It's Dag.
Yeah, Dag. But he said to him, he's a baby. It's talking about babies. So would you like to see a doggy? Mein Pliminik hat gesagt, ja, of course. Und geht zu der Badzimmer, und sehen a fish in the tub. Sagt, das ist nicht der Fisch, das ist nicht der Doggy, das ist a fishy.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Rochelle and then Rochale. Rochelle.
Ja, die Mama hat gekauft den Fisch, verleiht, und hat sie gedreht in die Mehl, dieselbe Mehl, was wird gemacht, Leber, wird nicht gehackt in einer Schüssel mit der Hacke. Der einzige Sache, was man gehackt in der Schüssel mit der Hacke, ist gewesen, den Nis mit der Äpfel für
The Charoses?
The Charoses. Ja, aber die andere Sache ist, es gewesen schwer zu drehen mit dem Mehl. Es ist nicht gewesen kein Blender, keine die alle Sachen. Und man hat das gemacht.
Ja, okay. Thank you, Dank. Rochale and then Beverly.
Ich habe gewollt sagen, dass der gefüllte Fisch ist zurück zu Israel. Menschen reden sehr miss wegen gefüllte Fisch in Israel zum Bedeuren. Es ist mir gewesen eine sehr gute Surprise, als vor Pesach haben gemacht eine sehr schöne Reklame im Radio, das gehört, wegen gefüllte Fisch, oder nicht pushen gefüllte Fisch, wir können kriegen Ceviche gefüllte Fisch.
Ceviche gefüllte Fisch?
Was ist das Ceviche gefüllte Fisch? Prima zu klären, was ist das etwas? So, ich habe gemeint, das ist interessant.
Ja, sie ist ein Sushi, also wie Sushi.
Ja, etwas, ich habe gekickt auf dem Internet, es sind nur etwas Bilder, also ich meine, öfter, das kommt von irgendwo, von jedem von durch Amerika, öfter, ich bin nicht sicher. Ja. Oder eine ausgetrachte Sache, wer weiß. Kreativ.
Okay, Beverly. You're muted, Beverly.
When my mother made it, I used to eat it, but you can get some, from raw fish, you can get something. But anyway, there's a movie, Michael, maybe we can show it. It says gefilte fish. It shows you that the grandmother is hacking and hacking, then the mother uses the Cuisinart, and the next is the jar.
Yeah, the next, yeah. Okay, let's read it. Let's read it.
רגע, מינה, איך אומרים? או רפואל, שרשור. It's a worm. It's a
worm. Etwas a worm.
Ja, der Freuer gepflegt versichernde gefüllte Fisch, was ist nicht gewinn gekocht, sie gehabt a Wurm. Sehr lange Wurm, was
a tapeworm. A tapeworm.
It's a tapeworm.
Chainworm? Okay. Oder in Yiddish, ich weiß nicht, wer so eine Riffdus.
Weiß auch nicht. No. Okay, Andrew, I saw that you are with us. Can you read the English, please? Andrew? Yeah. No. You're muted, Andrew. We cannot hear you. I see your lips, but you're muted.
About 3 years ago, Mina played the song Gefilte Fish for the Vinkl, sung by Henri Géraud. More recently, we heard him sing Der Kolomeyer Badkin, Alts for Geld, and Yiddishism. He recorded Isidore Gillian's Gefilte Fish in the 1920s. Isidore Gillian was born in 1882 in Rzeszów and emigrated with his family when he was 10. Lillian was a star of the Yiddish stage in New York. He wrote plays, musicals, and vaudeville sketches. He acted and wrote dozens of songs, often collaborating with Boris Tomaszewski, Joseph Rumshinsky, Jacob Adler, Menashe Skolnick, and Sholem Sekunda. Three expression Tausend literally means 1,000 tastes, delicious in the extreme. Der Unger means the Hungarian. Der Polyak means the Pole. Migas means the stew. Der Yeke is derogatory for the Germans. The Grusener means the Georgian.
Okay, Dave. Beverly, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
So sorry. Go ahead.
Sagt was jeden mit größer Cheshek bei jenem so bei sich allein in Stieb. Es ist Parev, nicht milchig und nicht fleischig. Nur am Michael, was jeder Jid hat lieb.
Okay, now let's translate it.
Not Moshe.
Okay, Moshe.
Say, what do Jews eat with great enthusiasm, either in their own house or in somebody else's house? It's parve, it's not milchik, it's not fleischik, but it's a treat that every Jew loves.
Okay. Michael, another. Okay. Alvin, please.
Just a minute.
Sure.
Call on me after this. I have to do something with my computer.
Mena, he asked you to call someone else.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't,
Yeah, my computer, I have a...
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I was somewhere else, sorry. Okay. Aida. Aida, you're with us?
Ich bin zurück.
Die bist zurück? Okay. Okay. As line.
Okay. Sagt, was ist jede Voice Ambitie? Voice Ambitie. Mir hat das lieb. Mir wisst Tage favos. So what's every woman's ambition, I guess means ambition.
Yes.
We have we love talking. What I don't know how to put this into English words. What we love.
And we know why. And we know why we love it.
Es ist a Yiddish Michael mit Tradition. It's a Jewish pleasure with tradition. When Jeden Erev Shabbos Espendos. It's a Jewish tradition. And every Erev Shabbos we eat it. We eat with this. Gefilte fish.
Okay, good. Thank you. Isabel, go on. Isabel, I know that you are there because I'm writing you down the name.
Is a Michael? Was
Michael.
Michael? Es ist ein Michael, was hat 1000 Tamen. Tamen, okay. It's a treat. 1,000 tastes.
It's a food.
I'm not quite sure how to turn this around.
It's a food, it's a dish that has 1,000 tastes.
Okay. Hab zuerst versucht das bei meinen Mamen. Ist es teuer ist es wohl. Am Michael vor dem Volk Israel. Essendig, vergeht es sich in Moil. I can't translate.
Okay, so Maurice.
Okay,
Please.
so Michael was it's a wonderfully delicious treat. Hab zuerst versucht es by my mom. I first tasted it from my mother. Is it Thai? Is it voil? Is it good? Is it wonderful? A Michael for dem Volk Yisrael, a treat for the people of Israel. Essen dik geht sich in Moil. When you eat it, it just melts in your mouth.
Okay, Steve, will you go on?
Oi, der gefüllte Fisch sei seinen Yiddish. Man kommt vom Schul und stellt sich machen Kiddisch. In Stub ist schön und rein und frisch, Man setzt sich zum gedeckten Tisch, gedeckten Tisch und man da langt gefilte Fisch. Okay, so or oi, the gefilte fish is very Jewish. Men come from shul and stand themselves to make kiddush. In the house is beautiful and clean and fresh. Frisch is fresh, yeah.
Yes.
Men speak.
No,
sit themselves to a full table.
A cover table.
Yeah. And men and let themselves
and are served.
And are served gefilte fish.
Oh, good. Good. Judy, can you continue, Judy?
I will try.
You can try and Maurice will translate, okay?
The Junger hat lieb.
Ungar.
Der Unger hat lieb Gulasch mit Gulasch mit Paprika. Der Polak hat lieb Bagreus mit Bräut. Bei dem Russ ist Reuter Borscht mit Ike. Und der Jiker hat lieb Reuter mit Reut.
Mit Kreuz. Okay, good. Maurice, please.
Sure. The Hungarian loves goulash with paprika. The Pole loves stew, meat stew with bread. For the Russian, the most important thing is red borscht. And the German loves pasta, some kind of pasta with cabbage.
I think it's not so much pasta, but like dumplings, small dumplings, I think.
Oh, could be.
I think that Kliese is the dumplings.
Okay.
Probably Spätzle.
Oh, Spätzle. Or the Spätzle. Yeah, the Spätzle. It can be the Spätzle, which is a specific kind of pasta.
Yeah, we Kreuzgelech were these little square.
Yes, the Kreuzgelech.
Square pastas that my mother used to put in the soup.
Yeah.
It's like farfel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The word bigos, is this stew?
Bigos is stew.
Stew.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue, Rochelle.
Yeah. A Mama Liege gleichen die Rumaner und der
Grusiner.
Und der Grusiner hat lieb a Shashalik. The Mama Liga, the Romanian likes a Mama Liga, and the, I don't know what Udiner is.
Georgian.
Oh, the Georgian hat lieb a Shashalik? I don't know what that is either.
Shashlik. You want to explain, Maurice, what is a shashlik?
I think it's some kind of a lamb stew. I'm not sure.
No, it's not a stew.
It's not a stew. It's pieces of lamb on a stick.
On a skewer.
On a skewer, right.
And then you grill it.
Okay.
And then you grill it.
It's shashlik. That's what it is.
Shashlik. Yeah.
Shashlik.
Right.
Yeah. No, Wuskut is weißen die nicht keiner. Und Adraber jeden sagt mir, was ist gut. Gefüllte Fisch. No, Wuskut is süßen.
No,
weißen die nicht keiner. And what's good, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Und Arabe, the Arabs.
No.
For sure.
How can you translate Adraba?
How's Adraba?
Tell us.
I think it's for sure.
Tell me.
I didn't get that. Say it again.
I would say it's tell me.
It's like, do tell us. Do tell us what is good.
Morty, what did you say?
Okay.
Yeah, tell me. Tell us.
Tell us, Jews.
Yeah.
Sag mir, was ist good. Tell me what's good. Gefüllte Fisch.
Adrabe, here could be and furthermore.
And furthermore.
Okay. I never saw that word. Okay.
I think
for sure
you have to remember that there's a question mark at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
tell me what's good. Yeah, and there's a comma after it.
Yeah, so it has to be a question.
Michael gave us the translation in the chat, and I think, I think that's a good one there. By all means, or something like this.
I thought it meant of course, but of course.
Ich habe eine Frage. Es ist eine Frage. Das Wort gleichen, das ist ein Emetzer jiddische Wort. Emetzer hat mir gesagt, das gleichen is mehr English.
No, gleichen is Deutsch. Haben lieb is Yiddish.
Okay. So das ist ein Emetzer jiddische Wort or das ist ein Tuis?
An Emetzer Yiddish Wort is haben lieb. Gleichen is Deutsch.
Okay.
Anyone has a comment on this?
Yeah, but we'll go back into the dialect and we don't want to
so we don't want to touch it. No, not today. Okay, go on, Michael, go on.
Ich will etwas sagen, für dem es ist du a question mark, ich meine, das bringt a challenge. He's challenging them when he says Adrabe, the voice was is good, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're right. Do you know what is good? Yeah. Okay.
Mina.
Yeah.
Anybody can tell me the shoresh, the root of Aderabe? I heard from my childhood Aderabe in different meanings. But
I can tell you.
Okay.
Aderabe does not have a root in Hebrew. It's from Aramaic.
Okay,
This is a word that appears in the Talmud when they have, in the rabbis of the Talmud have debates about Jewish law. They use the word Adarabah. It's not Hebrew. So there is no shoresh in Hebrew. There's no Hebrew root for that.
Yeah.
And if Aramaic has a root, I don't know, but I know it's not Hebrew.
Thank you, Rachel.
Okay.
I heard the word often in Yiddish, but to me it meant, but of course.
No, avada is of course.
Avada
is of course. Please,
It depends
go
how
ahead.
it's used. Depends on the context. Yeah.
Okay, we are going on. Henrietta. Henrietta?
It darf dependen on Platz.
Okay, but it is on the screen.
Es ist ein Michael, was hat Zwind?
Poisoned.
Ich habe zuerst versucht es bei meinen Mammen. Ist es teuer, ist es royal. Michael for the folk is royal. Okay. It's a pleasure. A Michael is a pleasure.
No, a Michael is a dish.
A dish that I found at my mother's. At first, no, Maurice, take over.
Maurice, help her out.
Right, so it's a Michael Wushot Toisen Tam. It's the best tasting food there is. Hab zuerst versucht es by my mom, and I first tasted it from my mother. Is this Thai? Is this wild? Boy, is it good? Boy, is it terrific? Michael Fadem Folk Yisrael. It's a treat for the people of Israel. Essen dik zegeet es sich in Moil. When you eat it, it just melts in your mouth.
Nina, when they say folk Israel, they mean for the people, the Jewish people, not the Israel.
Yeah, the Jewish people, yes. Beverly?
It's funny, I can never get non-Jewish people to actually like it, and we all love it.
Okay.
I've tried
I cannot stand it. I'm Jewish, I cannot stand it.
I know, oh well, I'm sure of that, but non-Jewish people, I've never found anyone to like it.
If you don't like it, Minna, it's because it was never seasoned properly.
No,
I was going to say that you didn't eat, Minna, you didn't eat the right one.
Right.
I will show you after.
Fish.
When we will stop sharing.
I agree.
Myrev, yes.
So Polish Jews and Litvaks make it completely differently. The Polish make it sweet and Litvaks make it seasoned.
Okay, you know, just a moment. You know that there is a map that divides how people are doing, how people are eating gefilte fish. I will show it after. Yeah, there is the gefilte fish big divide between the sweet and the salty or pepper. People, I cannot put it now, but I will show it to you later. But Myra.
So this brings up a question from this wise and experienced assembly. What was the purpose of making gefilte fish? Was it to ferment it? Was it to preserve it so that you could keep eating it through the rest of, more than one meal? Or why didn't they just cook the fish, fry it or boil it or whatever? Why did they?
You get a lot more protein this way.
I think that Susan has an answer. Susan.
It's the greatest invention to create more protein. By the way they cook the fish with the bones, they extracted all the protein they could, which I think is a genius method.
Okay, Susan.
Okay, there are certain kinds of work you cannot do on Shabbat. And you can't, one of them is to remove the bones from the fish. Something that you had to prepare ahead of time. so that the bones were removed from the fish. And the fish they used were probably hecht, which is pike, which was a fish that they could get in the local lakes, which had a lot of bones. So it had to be prepared ahead of time, or it couldn't be used in a Shabbos meal.
Adank, Alice, adank. I have always wondered this, so thank you so much.
Okay.
Excuse me, Susan.
Yes, Sergio.
This is an interpretation, or it is exactly written in the Talmud? You cannot remove, or you think that this is the reason? Or there is any documented that it is written you cannot remove the bones in Shabbat?
You can't butcher meat on Shabbat. You can't cut up kuh. So I imagine it's the same law.
Yeah.
You know, that you know you're making work by butchering a fish or butchering a chicken or butchering a cow. It's the selbe gezag.
But if you have a Shabbos goy, can your Shabbos goy do it for you?
But that's now you're playing the way the religious play with rules.
Indeed.
It wouldn't be kosher. You have to say promise when you kill.
Okay, Marty.
Yes, I wanted to say that the rules for work derive from the type of work that was done in the desert in building the Mishkan. And all of the rules have been taken out from the types of work that were done for the Mishkan. Now, there was a lot of woodwork done for the building of the Mishkan. And of course, they had to put in nails and take them out and so on and so forth. So in a way, the taking out of the bones from a fish is like taking out the nails from a piece of wood.
They didn't use nails.
And
not back then.
And that is, if you want, one of the origins of this. And of course, gefilte fish, once you have gefilte fish, you don't have to take any bones or pieces of bone out of it, because supposedly that has been taken care of before.
Okay, thank you, Morty. Susan, you have to add anything? Because your hand is still up. Okay. Neely, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, if you really bother with all these questions, why don't you ask a rabbi? And if you ask 3 rabbis, you get 4 answers.
Okay.
Last question. Mina, excuse me.
Yes, Sergio, yes.
Excuse me.
Sure.
This is a culinary class.
Yes, no problem.
But this is very curious, speaking about gefilte fish, a Jew identity. I remember visiting Russia before the war, of course, and I surprised visiting Varenike's networks of restaurants. In my mind was Varenike is like a gefilte fish. Then I realized that there are certain foods, European foods, that were incorporated also by Jewish citizens, and the heritage has the idea that this is only Jew food. Then my question is, there are populations in certain areas of Europe that no Jews, that gefilte fish is eaten frequently like by us? This curiosity.
Susan, you're waving your hand.
What was the question?
Susan.
That's the whole thing, is that gefilte fish is very unique. What you say about other foods, most other foods that the Jews ate, they were like the foods of their neighbors, but prepares in a kosher way. But we've been explaining the gefilte fish has a special meaning. It's a special reason it was prepared before Shabbat and it was eaten on Shabbat. And it's also reason, as Beverly pointed out, that other people don't seem to like gefilte fish because it is a dish that was very typical of the Jews of Eastern Europe and not of other people who could just fry up a piece of fish and take the bones out as they were eating it.
Okay, Rachel.
I think that every
Just
food
let
is being
Rachel
cooked.
first.
I just want to say something. I think in a response, I think that all of the food was cooked before Shabbat. I think the fish maybe was
There's a
because
French
it was,
dish,
just one
quenelles.
second. Let me just say that. I think it's for Oneg Shabbat because it was more rare. I don't think that it was a daily food that they ate. So just like you bring the challah, you bless it, and the salt and the wine, you welcome the Sabbath like a queen. I think maybe the fish also, it's for Oneg Shabbat and make it special.
Fish was eaten before the meal. And again, I'm quoting a Yiddish saying that if you did things out of order, they said, "Hab nicht die Lokschen for the fish." You eat the fish first.
Yeah,
Okay, let Rochelle speak. Rochelle.
Yeah, can you hear me? Because my internet is.
Okay, we can.
I think my internet is acting up. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, there's a French dish called quenelles that has some similarity, but it has a kind of pastry binder in it. And I often tell my friends, my non-Jewish friends, that it's very similar to that, and they're more open to tasting it and enjoying it than when I tell them it's gefilte fish.
That is French, okay. Anriva.
What's funny about this? One, the picture of the fish in the bathtub. I used to go on Sundays with my grandmother in Brooklyn to go shopping on Pitkin Avenue. And that's why some of you know the area. I can't remember the cross street. The other is that we used to send our Goyish friends out shopping and tell them to go buy the gefilte fish, and they not know it's in a jar, see? So they always went shopping. And the other is that we tried to play tricks, but I looked up Mama Liga on Google, and it says it's Romanian, Hungary, and part of, but they don't want to say that it's Jewish, but the Mama Liga, when I went to,
Mama Liga is not Jewish. Oh, it's not Jewish.
You had mentioned
it's Romanian.
Yeah,
but the Jews of Romania adopted it as their dish as well.
They adopted it. Okay.
Ma'erev.
So this is a bit of a tangent, but since someone mentioned it, I read an article recently that turned out that, the super typical British fish and chips was actually started by Jews who, I can't remember what dish it was related to, but it was another way to prepare fish that the British took over. Just
That's
a little side note.
Yeah, okay. Guys, I think it's time to listen to it once again.
Mit groß Cheshi, bei jenem Zibas sich allein in Stief. Sis Haar, wenn it milchig in it Fleischig, nur am Eichel, wo sei jeder idot lieb. Oi, so wo sei jeder Preuß am Dizie, me hat es lieb, me weiß der Keparvos. Sie sei dich Meichel mit Traditie, in jeden Reb Schabes ist man dos. Oi, sie ist am Meichel, wo so 1000 Tammen. Hab zuerst versicht es bei meinem Mammen. Oi, ist es teuer, ist es voll am Meichel, vor dem Volk ist Reul, essen dich, sie geht es sich im Meul. Oi, die gefüllte Füße sind Yiddish. Me kind Fischl, me stellt soll machen Kiddisch. Ich stehe wie schön, rein und frisch besetzt, sagt in gedeckten Tisch. Im mit allein gefüllte Fisch. Gefüllte Fisch, gefüllte Fisch. Der Ungarot liebt Gulasch mit Paprika. In der Polak hat lieb Bigos Fleisch mit Bräu. Bei dem Russ ist Reu der Borsteriker. Und der Jecke hat lieb Klüse Kreu. Am Mammelige gleichen die Rumäner. Und der Grusiner hat lieb Aschaschli. Nor wo's geht, ist weiß, bin sei nicht keiner. Na, der Rabiden sagt mir, was es geht. Gefüllte Fisch, aber der gefüllte Fisch. Ay, es ist am Michael, wo es 1000 Tamen. Hab zuerst versicht es bei meinem Mammen. Ay, es ist teuer, es ist wohl am Michael, fahrt dem Volk ist Reule. Liegt sich jeder sich im Meul. Ay, die gefüllte Füße sind in Yiddish. Mich im Fischl, mich stellt so machen Kiddisch. Ich stehe wie schön, rein frisch besetzt, sagt in gedeckten Tisch. Im mit allein gefüllte Fisch. Gefüllte Fisch, gefüllte Fisch. Oi, gefüllte Fisch.
Michael, can you for a moment put on the map of the gefilte fish divide?
Yeah. Let's see.
I saw that you put the link in the chat.
Yeah. Open.
I think it's a nice map. Okay, do you see? The salt and the sweet.
Oh.
You see? So, well, so my parents did it sweet because my mother is from Lodz and father from Warsaw. But I guess many of you did it salty.
Right, people from Lithuania didn't do it sweet.
Yeah, so but look at the divide. Lithuania is on the right side of the map.
Of course.
So yeah.
I know, I've been there.
Morty, but unmute yourself.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to add two things. First, how did the sweet gefilte fish come about? It came about because in the very early 1800s, the industry of beet sugar became developed in Poland. And it was the first place where it developed significantly. And the merchants wanted to, which many of them were Jewish, who manufactured the beet sugar, wanted to include it to sell it. And they developed the sweet gefilte fish. And they started using the beet sugar in many other recipes also. But that was the origin of the sweet gefilte fish.
Okay,
my family comes, huh?
Yeah,
Sorry.
go on, sorry.
My family comes from, part from Chernovitz and part from Lemberg. And we always used to have savory gefilte fish. I never knew about sweet gefilte fish until I came to Canada. And sadly for me, my whole family now likes sweet gefilte fish instead of the savory, which is the one that I like. So I am stuck with the sweet.
Okay, you can always put on pepper. Yeah, Beverly.
Well, I didn't know that. Still don't know who's sweet, but I remember my mother holding the little pieces in her hand and showing her sister how beautiful. They marveled. Like it said, every balabusta's ambition is to make special fish, and she'd hold it in her hand, and they would marvel at how beautiful the fish was. Then put it in the water.
Rochelle?
It was a very important thing for them.
Right. My mother made it in two different fish. She made the gefilte fish and then she also baked it. And most people that may not like the gefilte fish in like yoich will love the baked fish.
Okay, That's good, thanks. Rochale, you're muted, Rochale.
I just wanted to add to the story of making gefilte fish. It was like almost like a test to the young brides to make the fish without damaging the rings where you stuff the gefilte fish into, because the way it's being cooked now in America, it's easy to forget that really you're slicing the fish and you have to cut out the rings where you stuff the grind fish back into it. And that's how you serve it. And if nothing is being damaged and cut, then you're a good booster.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Michael, anyone has to add anything before we move on to read something else? Yeah, Cookie.
Just want to einmal a Tante gekommen und gemacht gefüllte Fisch, aber es gewesen sehr Tinkel. Und die Mama hat gesagt zu mir, das ist gemeine Fisch. Sie kauft gemeine Fisch. Mama's Fisch ist allemal gewesen sehr weiß und ihr Fisch ist gewesen sehr Tinkel. Und Mama hat das nicht geglichen. Und nachdem meine Schwester hat mir gesagt, dass die Mama hat das gemacht mit Zucker, ich kann das nicht glauben, weil ich habe keinmal getracht, also ich habe versucht, gefüllte Fisch mit Zucker. Ich gleich allemal die andere gefüllte Fisch. Es soll sein, you know, on Zucker, nicht das. Aber ich will sagen, als mein Geliebter jetzt, ist ein Sephardic Jid. Hat keinmal nicht im Leben versucht, gefüllte Fisch, und will es nicht essen. Sie haben keinmal nicht gemacht, das Sephardim, gefüllte Fisch.
Nein, noch gefüllte Burekas. Okay. Yeah, Golda, and we will move on.
I just wanted to give a special notice to Marsha, because we sang Gefilte Fish in our Yiddish choir, and Marsha was the dirigent. She was the director.
Okay.
Hashem Dank.
Hashem Dank. Okay, let's move on to something that is a song, a poem for Pesach, but basically it's a poem about the Cold War. And unfortunately, you will see how much it's still actual. It's still actual today. Okay, so everyone sees it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Susan, start reading it.
Zwischen Medinas Amerika und Medinas Russia geht eine starke Diskussion. Eine Diskussion mit 9 muss reden between the state of America, country of America, and the country of Russia. It goes on a very strong discussion, a discussion that with 9 measures of speaking, which just means that the discussion goes on and on. There's no end to it. 9 muss red. Mishpart sich wer hat größer knedlach. They fight over who has the bigger knedlach, which are matzah balls. Wemens knedlach seinen betamter, fetter, Ziedendicker, whose knedlach are tastier, fatter, and more boiling. Eik, wie sein Steiger is a schmeichel dicke, a zufrieden-dicke. Was Ike is English? Yike?
The name.
I like Ike.
Eisenhower.
But Ike like yike?
Ike.
No,
Ike like a name.
What is it?
Eisenhower.
A name.
Oh, Ike. No, I was talking about Eisenhower.
Eisenhower.
Ike.
Okay.
Eisenhower.
Ike, as his way was, he was a smiley one. The happy one sucht as die Amerikaner knedlich seinen terrific. That American knedlich what terrific. Me hat sie schon ausprobiert auf dem Pacific. He had tasted them in the Pacific und sie seien fine und wohl and they were good and great. They zugehen sich Age and mold. They just melt in your mouth.
Okay, thank you, Susan. That's
enough.
Yeah, thank you. Rafael, will you continue?
Good. They seien nicht zu hart, nicht zu weich. They are neither too hard nor too soft. Und der Recher is der Reich. And the main point is the fragrance. As behalt in New York, a knedel in die Hand. When you're in New York and you're holding a knedel in your hands, der Reich is Tashkent. The smell, the fragrance, the odor goes all the way to Tashkent. Der Ruf sagt Khrushchev to Eichen. And about this, Khrushchev says to Eisenhower, Mr. Grajdanin. Mr. Grajdanin. What's a Grajdanin? That's Russian.
That's Russian. Svetlana? Svetlana, what is it? Where is Svetlana? She was in.
Well, we can just leave it untranslated for now.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Mr. Grajdanin, deine Knedler seien Tage kosher. Your Knedler are, yes, they're in fact kosher, aber meine seien euch alpidin. But mine are also according to the law. Meine Knedler seien Pesachdik, nicht Wochedik. My Knedler are good for Pesach, not just in the week. Sie seien heiß und kochedik. They are hot and cooking. They haben a fine Mare. They have a beautiful appearance. Aber der Reker von die heiße Knedlich is the para. But the main point of hot Knedlich is the steam. Die Para geht a Setz und a Traske von Chelyabinsk bis Nebraska. Rhymes here. The steam pokes you with a trask, with a poke from Chelyabinsk all the way to Nebraska. Bekitzer, skate that diskussia, welche Knedlich seinen besser. So in short, there is this discussion: whose or which Knedlich are better? To the Philadelphia, to the Odessa. Those in Philadelphia or those in Odessa.
Okay, thank you, Rafael. Morty, go on.
Me pelpult sich wegen die Knedlich mit Asa, his mother. They discuss in the Talmudic way about the Knedlich with such a fervor as me vergesst in ganzen die Agode, that they forget completely about the Haggadah. Auf Arbe Koisis, auf Manishtane, auf the Arbe Bonim, about the 4 glasses, about the what's different this night, about the 4 sons. Seinen in ganzen nicht tu kein Belne. There are at all no knowledgeable people.
Ballonen. Ballonen rhymes with
Ballonen. Ballonen, yeah. Me vergesst in Maror in Charoisis. They forget about the Maror and the Charoset. Me halt sich in ein Span, wemens Knedel fest is, groß is. They just keep on fighting about whose Knedel is fast, holds on better and bigger. Me hat nor in Sinnen die Knedlich dus Shulchan Aruch. They have in their minds only the Knedlich, the Shulchan Aruch. Der Far zitter ich, Der Fahrer hob moire ich. That's why I tremble, and that's why I am afraid. Hob moire, also die Diplomaten wollen nicht kommen zu kein Pschorre, I am afraid that if the diplomats don't come to an agreement, wegen der gneideldicke Zue about the problems with the Gnedlich, wenn jeder von sie wird sein a nette man, a loman, a nietman, a loman, wird die ganze Welt werden a zerbrochener Afikoimen. When all of them are only niet people or no people, will the whole world become a broken Afikoman?
Okay. Anyone wants to comment?
Yeah, Mina,
I love it.
Yeah.
Can you go? I could not print it, so I'm taking picture. Can you roll it to the beginning, the beginning of these things, so I can take a picture of it?
You have it online. It's online. I can send it to you.
Okay.
I could not. I could. Okay.
Okay, just a moment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's okay, Nili? You want to take it?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, Golda and then Refoel. Golda.
I just wanted to say that Grashdanen is just a name. It's the name of the man.
It's the name of a man?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Refoel, yes.
Yeah, just a few things. Balonim means people who are eager. The Shulchan Aruch here is not, I think, referring to the law code, but its literal meaning, the set table. They're only thinking about the knelech and the table as it is set. And finally, there is the expression in Yiddish, nicht die Haggadah meitmen nor die knelech. They're not coming for the Haggadah, they're coming for the food.
Okay, thank you, Rochelle.
Well, I read it as an allegory about two egotistical people fighting with each other and ignoring the fact that there's a lot else going on in the world besides their egos.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's two nations, yeah. Okay, it was written in 1956. So 1956 was the height of the, you know, the Cold War. So
I wish they could discuss this now.
Yeah, well, unfortunately.
Where is Yossel der Griner?
Ich weiß nicht. No. I try to, you know, I try to look it up, but it's just someone that.
Dana, you have the ability to select such wonderful things for the appropriate time.
Thank you.
You're just amazing.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Refoel, yes, and then Morty.
Yeah, I looked up Grashdanin. It means citizen.
Citizen, okay, good. Morty.
Yes, somebody asked about how to say tapeworm in Yiddish.
Yeah.
Schechter Visvanat says bandwerm.
A bandworm?
A bandworm.
Okay, and I see Ma'arev, yes?
Karen and I were trying to figure this out before, which I'm glad we did because I got a lot more out of it. But we noticed that rhymes in it are really clever and cute. If you read it, if you can read the Yiddish straight through and hear them, they're very well done.
Okay. Rochelle, I see your hand. No,
I didn't put I keep forgetting to put my hand down.
Take off your hand, yeah. Okay, Barbara. But you're muted.
I thank you. I'm sorry. I could not print it out, just like Nili said.
Yeah, I had a problem with it too. I don't know, because I took it out from, you know, it was on the forwards and all forwards. So probably I had to make a PDF of it before printing.
Oh, okay, because I was going to ask you to resend it. Okay.
No,
right.
it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't help. I couldn't print it out either, and Nili could. It's something with the format of it. So because I took it out from an old formatted
forward archive.
Forward, and so yeah, April 1st, 1956.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Minna, I can
Yes.
take it out of the PDF and make it just an image. And
Yeah,
then,
but we just, we just finished it, so.
no, I mean, if people
Okay,
want to
can you do that for me?
Yeah,
Marie?
yeah, Millie, I'll do it for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The other day, Myra and Marcia taught us how to save the whole chat. Could you tell it quickly so that everybody, because we have so much on the chat today, is it easy?
Yeah, yeah. Go to if you have the chat open, go to the lower right at the very bottom of the chat. There are 3 dots. There's where it says type message here. To the right of that, there's several symbols. One is 3 dots.
Yes.
Save chat.
Okay, press down on the 3 dots and you'll see save chat.
Yes.
And then immediately it will say show in Finder or show in Folder, something like that. Click on that. Click on that and it will bring where it has stored the chat up in front of you. So you don't have to go look for it later.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful. The documents.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, since it is a culinary class today, anyone has to say anything about Knedler?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a culinary class.
It's the best thing of Passover.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to say anything? Because for me, Knedler is to buy it and put it directly into the...
No. You make it yourself.
Yes, I can also comment on that. In my family, we have the traditional from my grandmother, from my Bob's recipe, and they are small and very thick,
fluffy,
very hard. And that's the way we
not
like
fluffy?
it. Not fluffy at all. No, they sink, they don't float. And now my wife likes the American style Knedler, those that are fluffy and float, but we are the majority, so we win. And I have to say that it's my daughter, my youngest daughter, that makes the Knedler for the whole family using my grandmother's recipe.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You have to come to Houston because we have a deli called Kenny and Ziggy, and they are making Knedler.
Fabulous.
But this size, one Knedel is enough for 6 people. It's like this.
Where is that store? I don't know this store.
Kenny and Ziggy's?
Kenny and Ziggy.
Oh, famous.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Are you living in Houston?
I live on the northwest. I don't live in the ghetto. I don't live in the
They just moved. They just moved.
I also live away.
Excuse me, Nili. I am from Argentina, and each visit to Houston includes a lunch or breakfast, whatever, in Ziggy.
Okay, when are you coming? When are you coming? I will go with you.
Okay.
They just moved the post.
My invitation.
Okay. Rafael,
just a question to Morty. Just a question to Morty in Spanish. Morty, ¿qué decís? Que los Knedler son duros. ¿Eso dijiste?
Eso dije, que son duros y pesados, densos.
Pero los europeos, los de tu familia europea, son duros y pesados.
Sí.
¿Y los americanos cómo son?
Son grandes
it's like in Egypt.
Son grandes y flotan y son muy suaves.
Ajá. Curiosity.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rafael and then Marsha, and then we will go again. Rafael.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, who comes from Baden in Germany, just got out before the war. She makes something called Knödel, German, and it's larger and it's baked, but it's very much like what we know as Knedlach. And my mother always made Knedlach, but my mother-in-law makes Knödel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but they are dense. The Knödel are a little bit denser, no?
Same ingredients? Is it the same ingredients?
They're baked, yes. They're denser and they're baked.
Yeah.
But is it the same ingredients?
Do they grow?
I think it's the same ingredient.
More or less the same ingredient.
Do they grow? How do they grow if they're not in the water?
No, they just, you make them bigger.
Oh.
Marsha, you wanted to say something, no?
It was just a joke when you're talking about the deli. Maybe they deliver?
They deliver,
Of course they deliver.
Yes,
Yeah, but not to Brooklyn, New York, or Argentina.
They do deliver. Henrietta.
I make knedlach to order. I don't make the new knedel that are light as fluffy, you don't have any taste. I make the old-fashioned knedlach. I had a very good friend who liked them hard as a ball, hard as a golf ball. So I made his first when he came over, when they would come over for dinner. I like them soft and fluffy, not fluffy with air. So I make knedlach to suit the person, and they're the best of the world.
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
So come and have Passover with me.
I just wanted to say that I got a phone call from a neighbor who's in a wheelchair, and I always answer that. So I ran out, and it was his son. He said, Gloria, I just made gehakt the labor. I'm going to bring it down. So I said, please bring it down in a half hour because I'm on Zoom.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have a wonderful Pesach.
What a good thing. What a good thing.
Okay, I wanted to say two things. One, it's a tip for those who cannot have fish. Some people cannot eat fish. So you can do the same thing, the same recipe with ground chicken breast. I don't know if people know that. My mother-in-law used to call it.
It will not be very dry.
No, it's called kol. There is a recipe for kol, and it tastes just like gefilte fish. If you're short of fish or you cannot have fish, do it with chicken breast and just use the same recipe just with the chicken breast. And the other thing I wanted to say, huh?
Okay.
How do you spell that word? K-O-H-L? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe C-O-L-N, kol.
Okay.
I can ask my husband. It's his mother's recipe, but I wanted to share with you something funny. Someone sent me a photo from Israel with a big poster in the back saying, "Ich fuhr vom Melech, weil ich hab heiße Joich mit Knedlach."
Okay, Rachel.
You're talking about the texture, and I like them somewhere in between, but the must-have for me is schmaltz. I will avoid that like the plague the whole year, but for knedlach, it has to be real schmaltz from a real chicken.
Okay.
But the old ways is the duck. You know, it's duck in the old ways.
Yeah.
Yes, it's that.
Any doctors in the house?
Akatko or gans?
Goose.
Yeah.
Gans.
Mine is goose.
Yeah, gans. Akatko or gans. Aber in America it's gewesen nahin.
Anyone have other stories or something? Because we will not start reading anything new today since we are in the, we are getting hungry. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows.
Yes.
I don't know. Does anybody have a perfect recipe? Because mine never come out the same.
Manischewitz mix.
Yes.
Manischewitz mix.
Perfect. But I don't know if everyone knows how to I freeze them because I put each one after I make them, and if you freeze them together, then it comes like I don't know, like all together. But I take each one, I put it on a cookie sheet, and I put it in the freezer overnight, and then they won't stick together. Then you can put them in a plastic bag, and they won't stick together.
I also use the mix. Do not use the mix. It has too much salt in it.
Yeah.
Use the regular Manischewitz.
I tried that. It was a disaster.
Just a moment. I want to ask Sergio if in Argentina it's common. Is it common, Sergio?
What?
The gefilte fish and knedlach.
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
It's Jewish.
Of course. See, I am first generation in Argentina. My parents came from Poland. with all their costumes and Jewish customs. Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay.
And it's very popular. Non-Jewish populations knows when you are speaking about gefilte fish. Most of literate people knows what means, or at least they know that is a Jew food. No?
Okay, Michael,
Yes,
can you tell us? Can you tell us what you wrote in the chat?
Yeah, I've always used there's a little recipe on the box of Manischewitz matzah meal.
Matzah meal.
I use that, but I make sure to use real schmaltz and goose if I have it. And then I add white pepper. White pepper makes a big difference.
Why?
Gee, wow.
It's a different flavor from black pepper.
Different flavor, and it looks nicer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I added a pinch of nutmeg, which I love, to my knedlach, and I use a mini muffin pan, and I put them all, one knedel in each little hole, and I chill it before I boil it, and that helps them not stick together in the pot. And then if I want to freeze them, I freeze them the same way. I'll freeze it on that tray and then take them out, and they'll be frozen and put them into bags or into—
Very smart, very smart.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to tell you my Passover experience. I grew up in a house that was socialist, and we didn't celebrate any Jewish holiday, nothing. But I grew up in the neighborhood was very traditional, with 5 synagogues around us and a mikveh just, on the other side of the gader, on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
So it was a very traditional place. And back when I was a child, we couldn't buy bread for Passover. Now you can buy bread and it's no problem. And you can freeze it, you can buy bread. But then you couldn't buy bread, there was only matzahs. And my memories from Passover is my mother baking challah. and the gruch, the smell was all over the neighborhood. It was wonderful. And she was a very good baker. And the challah was amazing. And that was every Passover. So that's my memories of Passover.
Where was it? In Israel? Or,
in Israel, in Petach Tikva, yes.
Really?
Yes, really.
More challenging in Israel.
Sorry, Rochelle.
Keiner hat gar nicht gesucht?
Nein, man hat gekannt meine Eltern, so geweiss, als sind eine Epikursim. Nein, keiner hat gar nicht gesucht. Ja, Maurice.
Das ist sehr, was deine Mama getan, ist sehr jiddisch. Zu tun etwas auf Zeluches.
Ja, Maurice, ja.
Das ist Jiddischkeit.
Gott hat sie getroffen.
Nina, did you change that costume?
What?
Nina, did you change that heritage?
Not really. We still don't do. Mach nicht kaseider. We are doing like a meal for the children. Because my smallest granddaughter, she loves the playing with Afikoman. So we are doing this. We are eating. It's a family come together, but
most people do that in the United States.
Yeah,
also here.
It's a family come together. Yes.
That's all it is.
Yes.
Nina.
Yeah.
I wanted to say regarding what your family did. Now it has almost brought down the government in Israel. So the tradition spread out.
Yes. Yeah. Rochelle, ja, ich sehe es erst.
Zwei Sachen. Ich habe eine Sache, was ich will sagen, eine kurze Scheile.
Ja.
Das hat mir dermant, als ich habe gehört, amul von der, was ist gewesen, amul der jiddische Radio. אז מנישוויץ ist so ein Geschmack, wir können das kein und gar nicht. Wir können פשוט essen die Matzes und nicht leiden auf dem Gurnisch, weil die Masse sind in so Geschmack. Ich habe sehr lieb gehabt zu hören das. Oder ich habe eine Scheile. Wo spielt man mit Hosen-Nissel? Hazelnut.
Nissel, yeah, we used to play Nislach. It must be European.
Ich prüfe die treffende Entfer. Ich habe das so lieb gehabt. Meine Tante hat gefragt, bringen eine ganze Säckele mit Hosen-Nissel. Ich habe gedacht, reinkicken auf dem Wörterbuch.
We played it on the floor, like jacks. Like,
yeah, so wie marble.
The Nislach.
Yeah.
Filberts,
Yeah.
Filberts.
Weiß nicht.
Filberts.
Filberts, okay.
Weiß ich nicht.
I forget the other word for filberts. What's the other word for filberts?
Hazelnuts.
Hazelnuts.
Yeah.
And we flip it with our fingers, like jacks, in a way.
Yeah.
Great game, great game.
Ich habe so lieb gehabt. Ich habe noch gewartet zu kriegen, die Säckele mit der Nissalach gewesen. Ein gutes Spiel in meiner Gegend, ja. Oder, okay, wir darf das sichern, von wo. Ich habe geprüft zu sichern, habe nicht getroffen.
Weiß nicht. Weiß nicht. Okay, guys, so that was a culinary class today.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
class. And, happy Passover, kosher to whoever is keeping kosher, and whatever for the others.
And healthy one.
And yeah, and we will see you again. We will see you again next week as usual. Yes, next week is Chol HaMoed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's okay. So Chol HaMoed next week as usual. No. Okay.
Okay. Have a great week. It was great. I love coming here.
Why
do you say Aziz
family gathering?
I don't know, but everybody says it.
Why do you say Aziz and Pesach?
I don't know. That's a tradition.
It's tradition.
The tradition.
Actually,
it's a marketing tradition.
Polish.
It's from the Polish gefilte fish.
Yes.
Actually, it's a marketing
The Litvaks.
Barbara?
No, I believe that it became a popular expression because of marketing of Pesadika foods in newspapers. That I read was an origin, and actually which company began that, I don't know. I'll have to check that out. But I heard it was a marketing
ploy.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Happy Passover.
Okay.
Okay. Have a nice Passover. Bye.
Hold on,
Bye.
everybody who wants to save the chat now before we close.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so save it and I will close. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.
Thanks again.
Bye.